Been great. Obviously, hectic going from Providence in the NCAA tournament to trying to assemble a roster in the last couple of months. But it's been a lot of fun. Raleigh's been awesome. Getting the roster situated finally, kind of at the last pieces here, and getting the guys back to campus. It's been a lot of fun.
You, you obviously have a great working relationship with Kadir and Alin. What has that been like to have them be able to show the other guys what is the Will Wade way?
It's been awesome. When we took over at McNeese, it was all brand new. Obviously, Coach has done this now, I think, 3 or 4 times, where you're kind of learning the culture and learning how Coach does things. And to have guys like that who have done it before, seen it before, know how Coach is, knows what to expect, the day operations or how they go about things. They've been great in being a voice for us in the locker room and a voice for for the players too. It's not always sunshine and rainbows, especially with how we do things. And they've been through it before. They've seen the road games. They've seen the practices. And they know what to expect, whether it be offensively or defensively. So it's been great to have those two.
That first Friday session, I guess it was this past Friday now at this point. You guys call them road games. I mean, what is that like, and why is that done to the players? We'll say it that way.
Yeah. So Coach started that years ago, and I think the terminology behind it. I don't want to misspeak here, but my understanding of it is that being on the road, you're never given anything. You're not going to get, theoretically, not going to get a great whistle. And you have to battle adversity, fight with your teammates. Things are going to be tough. Things are going to be difficult. And it's, your ability to come together as a group, compete, and find a way to get it done. Everything we do in our program is highly competitive, highly competitive. And the road games are at the end of the week. We'll go road game at 6 o'clock in the morning, and we'll practice, and it kind of caps off the week. And so we'll have 2 teams or 3 teams, depending on how many players or whatever the assignment is, and it just builds that road environment. It builds us a different type of mentality, a different type of conditioning to be able to play on the road in the ACC and at the Dukes, the Carolinas, the Louisvilles, all the heavy hitters in our league. And, it starts. That process doesn't start when you get to ACC play. It starts in the summertime, first week of June.
You're able to keep Paul McNeil and Samika Wilkins, and then quickly added Matthew Abel. What has it been like with those 3 younger players and how they have adjusted?
We're still working on getting Mikey here. He's been finishing up his school, and obviously having Paul and Matt Abel here, it's been great. Paul has a big chance, a big opportunity this year to be a very big piece to the puzzle. Just with his size, length, athleticism, he can shoot the ball. He fits kind of the Coach Wade, mold of what he looks for in a player. You can look at his years at LSU, VCU, McNeese, doesn't really matter where. Coach really likes the long athletes that can make plays on both sides of the ball. And specifically for myself, defensively, for a guy like Paul or even for Matt, to have their size and length, in passing lanes, in our press defense, and give them the freedom to make plays on the ball and be aggressive defensively. I think it's something that excites me. I know for Paul, just kind of getting the bearings of the defense. We met yesterday. We watched some film, some different areas. We play a very unique style of play, but for him, he's able to see, especially when we showed it on film. Hey, look, if you're in this spot, you can be way more aggressive and use that size and length to your advantage, and you really don't have any area that can hurt you. It's more so really amplifying his strengths. And then obviously for Matt Abel, I mean, he is as good as I've seen as a shooter, and his IQ, his feel, and the biggest thing, I think this is a huge separator when it comes to that top tier talent, is his mindset. His first few weeks here, something that's been really exciting for us as a staff, and not even for the staff, but also as players, because he kind of tests guys. Everyone's kind of new, even though we brought Quadir and Allen with us. They're still kind of get a feel for each other and their teammates, and when you have a freshman come in, he's kind of the young one, and the baby, and the guys, the older guys would try to put him in his place a little bit, and to see Matt compete and go right back at him, and and show that toughness and that resilience and kind of give it back to them as well. It's been really exciting, and I think the special players are the ones that don't back down from confrontation.
What is
The guys on the course working out, who kind of stands out here right now? These dudes that are here.
I think it's a little early to see which ones exactly stand out. I do know that obviously Matt Abel last week was our Wolfpack Player of the Week. He has been very impressive for us. I said it earlier, but just his demeanor, his toughness, his heart. Like kind of blending these new guys with the older guys, and Matt coming in as a freshman, you just never know how it's gonna, their demeanor and are they gonna accept him? Are they gonna treat him like little brother and kind of like let him know, hey, this is my, you got to earn your stripes around here. And one thing that I don't think anyone could really predict unless you had seen him and really know the kid is his heart and toughness. He's not only met the challenge with the other guys, which has earned their respect, but also kind of giving it back to them a little bit with competitiveness and like those are the type of kids, the highly competitive ones that whether it be at the college level or professional level, those are the type of kids that make it, that are that are grinders and that it doesn't matter what it is, whether it's a game of chess or checkers. Or a basketball game, that if there's a scoreboard and there's a winner and loser, that they're going to do everything they can to win the game.
Of the current players, who has that competitive drive? Who you think you might kick out of the gym one day?
I think all of them, to be honest. Again, we have done a very good job. Credit to Slater and to Stacy and Coach Wade and our staff with the talent evaluation. And again, it's not just putting it in a spreadsheet and spewing a number out. The back. Coach Wade is very big into personality tests and making sure that they mesh and getting the right type of guys. We call them OKGs, our kind of guys that love the game. And he tries to be very, very honest in recruiting, that it's going to be the hardest thing that they ever do. And a lot of guys will, again, sort of just weed themselves out of that process of recruitment. And the guys that we typically get for a reason, and if they want to be here, and they're those kind of guys that they want to live in the gym, that they want to do the little things and have the routine and structure which it takes to be great. And so I would say it's been fun to watch practice. It's been fun to watch guys compete and see the chippiness and see the guys get to the edge and really compete and go after it like it's an ACC game or a conference tournament game. Like it matters that much to them. And I think if you go down the roster 1 through I don't know how many guys we have here yet, but 11, 12 guys, they've all been hyper competitive.
You said, are there still a few that you're waiting on to get to Raleigh? Sounds like Zamika is still making his way, and
Mikey's still making his way. He should be here shortly, but still a couple guys that we're trying to finish up the roster and get here. But summer 2 starts next week, so obviously trying to get as many guys here for that, and then obviously have our roster ready for that. Who's going to be on the roster, what the roster is going to look like. And then also, as that's going on, and probably more important, the ACC went from 20 games down to 18. And so that's 2 more extra games that you can get and more flexibility to play with. Also, getting an understanding of the ACC schedule. Who is your, who are you just going to play at home? Who are you going to play both home and away? What are going to be your road games? And then how that shapes into Q1, Q2 games. So for us, we thought that the ACC schedule came out and it was favorable for us as far as what teams we play at home, what teams we play on the road, which ones we play home and away, and so we were able to kind of get the last 2 or 3 games, based on whether or not we thought it was, we needed to take weaker opponents and battle in those games or stronger opponents. I will say this is the last point that I want to make, and I think this is big for Coach Wade. I also think it's big for the state of North Carolina, is that it never made sense to us when we were at LSU or McNeese or anywhere really in years past why you wouldn't play teams in your state. I think that number one, fan involvement and engagement is huge. We're fortunate that we know a lot of coaches, whether it be from the VCU coaching tree, that are at schools in our region, in our state. And so Coach has made it a point to make sure that we highlight those schools. So, you know, we will play a fair number of teams in our state, which I think is great for NC State. It's great for NC State households that may have, you know, a kid that went to NC State and then that kid went to another school in the state. But I also think it's great for their fan base as well to have a chance to play, you know, a program in their state that they may not be able to, you know, play against.
Playing there, so it's going to be a great game. Obviously, their success last year, they've had a tremendous team, tremendous program in the SEC. Bruce Pearl does a tremendous job. You know, so look, if you want to compete at the national level, I think Coach Wade will be the first to say it. But you know, like you don't get better or you don't test yourself when you're playing, you know, bad teams or bad programs, and it gives you false confidence or false hope or false belief. So, you know, when we pulled the Auburn game, you know, we were all excited about it. You know, you get a chance to go against one of the best programs in the country. It's going to be a fight. We're going to give it everything we got and see if we can come out of there with the win. But regardless, it's a great barometer for us as a program to test ourselves and see where we're at and see not only where we're at, but also it gets us ready for ACC play. You know, to have a team like that on the road.
Seems like it's a show of respect for you guys too, because that's a program for sure the country was leading last year.
Yeah, and you know, like when I first got here, I didn't actually know the process of how they do the ACC SEC Challenge. I was told initially it was done by standings, and then I did a little research and saw that it was by fan engagement. And I mean, you go by that. I mean, there was probably 4 or 5 teams that we could have ended up playing. But yeah, no, look, they have a great program. They do a tremendous job. Obviously, us coming to NC State and establishing ourselves in the ACC, we want to be considered one of the best teams in the country, one of the best teams in the ACC. Well, this gives us an opportunity to test ourselves against one of the best teams in the country and one of the best teams in the SEC. And it's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to give it everything we got and let the chips fall where they may. But the coach will be the first one to tell you we take it one game at a time. We're not. That game is great, but we have 6 or 7 games before that we're going to have to compete and play at a high level and test ourselves before we get to that game. And so it's going to be a building process, and we take it game by game and practice by practice. And right now, the only thing that we're focused on is having a great practice later today.